So this is the Halloween Oracle, and this card that I'm going to work on today is the Graveyard card, which is Unnecessary Fear. And I know I have completely fallen up behind on this. Life just kind of stepped in and October kind of got away on me. So I'm going to try and at least double up these ones. So I'm also going to be doing the Hearth, Happiness in Our Hearts and Homes, and do the 2 in 1 video and see if I can get a little bit caught up. I don't know. So I'm probably gonna be posting a lot of videos because I have other videos I need to catch up on. So yeah. What do I see here? We see 3 tombstones. The first one has is a square tombstone with a cross on top. The square part of the tombstone has Rest in Peace on it. It has some various other writing on there like 1798. And then the cross on top of the tombstone has I think that is IHS with a cross engraved on top of the cross. And then there's another square tombstone in the back and a cross tombstone with Rest in Peace at the back. There's a full moon in the back, which seems to be kind of have a halo around it and be shining down on the tombstones and the weeds and whatnot around the tombstone. So I'm assuming it's a sort of unkept graveyard. Or maybe they're floral arrangements, I don't know. So automatically this makes me think of not too many graveyards in our area actually have the old tombstones like this. We have mostly just the flat tombstones. So, but there is a really pretty graveyard in Fort Langley. I think they do a lot of filming there too. And so this is kind of reminds me of that. It's a really quaint little small graveyard that has tombstones like this. It also kind of makes me think of The Crow, where they say the graveyard's the safest place to be because everybody's dead. The full moon, of course, cycles, high energy, fullness, ripeness, and strange behavior. The strange behavior that's associated with full moons. The card's kind of saying to me is asking what part of yourself or your life can you now let rest in peace. And also, you know, in the grave, it's just you leave behind the shell that carried you in this life. It's not actually your identity. It's not actually you. So let's see what the book has to say. Graveyard, Unnecessary Fear, and the little poem is: the stones they mark the eternal resting place, yet the spirits they are walking, and they are ready for the chase. Today's modern graveyards are restful places, normally highly manicured and very well set out. While they can be places of profound sadness, a few are creepy, gothic places of old, yet they still hold undercurrents of fear and seem frightening places. Due to countless stories of haunted graveyards, the thought of walking through cemeteries evokes fear in many of us. We imagine zombies and ghosts rising from the graves, and bad spirits hiding out, waiting to harm an unsuspecting living person who walks by. The idea of being at a graveyard after dark, or worse, at midnight, is the stuff of dares and nightmares. But this isn't the way with every culture. On the Mexican Day of the Dead, whole families picnic on the graves of their loved ones who have passed. Children play upon the graves, people play music, drink wine, and share food, all in the company of the dead. Graveyard dust is used as an ingredient in protective spells, not in curses. Pull this card and know that you fear unnecessarily. Things are not as they seem, and you can overcome your obstacles. The anxieties you have, although real, should be put aside before they you long term. Instead, trust that you know the correct next step and that you will act upon them. So I really like this last little bit here about not letting your anxieties take hold or let you haunt you long term. I kind of like that idea. And of course the whole idea that graveyards aren't always in every culture a place of fear, that they can actually be something different in other cultures. So kind of like that. Now let's do the Hearth. Happiness in Our Hearts and Homes. My impressions of this, well, first of all, we see a fireplace with a crackling fire in there. On their little ledge in front of it, there are some candles lit with a loaf of bread. And then above there is a gargoyle head and wings. Everything is all warmly lit by the glow of the fireplace. So fire kind of represents warmth, passion, heat and strength and energy. Also just cooking in general. The fireplace again is for warmth and staying warm. Back in the day it was used for cooking and is sort of a focal point of the home. Gargoyles are sort of protection and warding away evil, just sort of guardian things. Aesthetically, it all sort of reminds me of a Tim Burton movie. No one movie in particular, but it sort of makes me think of Tim Burton movies. Also sort of guarding and keeping close to the heart of the matter. What's important at the heart of the matter. Maybe it's time to focus on more cozy nights in with loved ones, or to protect what you're passionate about. What are the things that make you truly happy in your life, and keep those interests and those fires burning. So let's see what the book has to say. Happiness in our hearts and homes, and the little poem is part of every home, the fire that unites. Winter's warmth centers stories, love, and delights. The ancient Romans believed that every home had a hearth, and that the hearth where the fire burned, the family gathered for sustenance, communication, and protection. This concept was so important to the culture that there was a huge city hearth, the Vestal Temple. The fires of the home goddess Vesta burned forever without going out. This sacred flame was protected by the soldiers with their very lives should there ever be an invasion. The place where the goddess Vesta was honored within every ordinary home was also the hearth. It was where women prepared food and cooked. Some of the food was always offered back to the fire as an offering to Vesta for her blessings and protection. Often husbands were sent away on military duty for years on end, and their wives at home were not just expected to keep the home and often business running, but were to wait for the husbands faithfully until they returned. They prayed to Vesta to ensure their family members' safe return and to keep the fires of love stoked. The saying, "keep the home fires burning," was inspired by this practice. Should the hearth card appear in your divination, you are asked to look for your idea of what home and family is for you. Take the time to build up your love fire and have it burning brightly. Make your relationships a priority. If there is a conflict within your home and family, it is time to take concrete steps to address this issue for good. If you or a member of your family is away from home due to travel or work, know that protection is being given. So, I know this about, keep the home fires burning. I mean, that's kind of, now that I've read this, it kind of makes sense. But it's kind of a cute little saying there. But what I really like and will take away from it is that you're being asked to look at your idea of what home and family is for you, because that's not the same for everybody. A lot of time family is blood family, but it's not always the case. Sometimes family is the family that you make. Sometimes family isn't, husband, wife, and kids. Some people don't have kids. Sometimes it's your fur family, or sometimes it's your friends who are your family. And I guess it's a good idea to take stock of who and what are family status to you, who are important to you. And I like that idea because it's asking you to look beyond just your standard ideas of what family might be. So yeah.